Did you know that there was a war between the Knights Templar and the Ottoman Empire? Probably not, because it wasn't really a war between two evenly matched opponents. It was more like a war between David and Goliath, except David had really bad breath. The conflict between the Christian military order known as the Knights Templar and the growing Ottoman naval empire began in the 13th century. By the 15th century, the Ottomans had conquered most of the Mediterranean, establishing a naval base on the strategic island of Rhodes, much to the annoyance of the Knights Templar, who controlled the island of Malta. The war came to a head in 1522 when Suleiman the Magnificent, Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, decided to lay siege to Rhodes. His navy blockaded the island while his army of 30,000 men dug a series of tunnels under the city walls, which they then filled with explosives. When the gunpowder was set off, the explosion breached the walls and Ottoman troops poured into the city. Despite fierce resistance from the knights, the city fell and the knights were forced to flee, but the story doesn't end there. You see, before the siege, many of the knights had escaped to the nearby island of Malta, where they had established a small base. This was a crucial moment in history because the ruler of Malta at the time was Emperor Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor and future King of Spain. He was in the middle of a war with the French and needed all the help he could get. The Knights Templar were experienced fighters, fanatically religious and completely loyal to the emperor. So he welcomed them on Malta with open arms, granting them the island of Gozo as a base of operations. From there, they continued to harass Ottoman shipping and even launched a counterattack, retaking Rhodes for the Emperor Charles V. But this victory was short-lived as the Ottomans soon took it back. Still, the knights had made themselves useful. The emperor rewarded them by giving them the entire island of Malta. And so the Knights Templar became the Knights of Malta. Their new base was much closer to the Ottomans, so attacks were more frequent. The biggest and best known was the Great Siege of Malta in 1565. The Ottoman army was massive, numbering around 30,000 soldiers, including 7,000 cavalrymen and 200 elephants. They stormed the island, but the knights, along with the citizens of Malta, fought them off. The knights' numbers only 8,000, were able to hold out because of their superior firepower and the introduction of new military technologies such as the bayonet. The siege lasted for months, but in the end, the Ottomans were defeated, suffering around 25,000 casualties. The knights proved that they didn't need fancy titles or huge armies to be legendary.